Alright guys, for this trek into DIY tech, we're going to take a look at PID tuning in QGroundControl. And the flight controller will be running PX4. And so here's the thing. Oscar Liang, who is really great, I'll put a link in the description for you guys. Oscar Liang has a thing on PID loops and tuning, and so does Joshua Bardwell. He does a lot of beta flight stuff for FPV, and he has excellent videos on PID tuning. And I'm sure there's like a million other videos out there on PID tuning. But I'm doing this video for several reasons. Number one, one of you has asked for it. If you guys ask for the videos, I will always try to get them in. Number two, somebody told me a long time ago, you never know when your explanation of a thing is the one that makes the thing click for somebody. Hope that makes sense. Yeah, ever since somebody told me that, I've felt that it's worth it to try to explain something, because you never know when you say that one word a little differently or whatever it is that you do, and somebody says, oh, this time I get it. And it's, it's awesome when that happens. So here we go. All right, for this video, we're going to go ahead and use the hardware store drone. I have a video coming on the building of this, but there's a lot of footage, so I haven't had time to edit that yet with work and everything else. So a lot of times when people look at what's going on with their drone and something funny's happening, first thing they'll do is like, oh, let's fix it with tuning. All right. Tuning's gonna fix it's gonna fix problems, yes, but the first thing you should do is check your hardware. So if you have excessive vibrations, so we're gonna take this up, we're gonna get a flight log generated, and then we're gonna take a look at the flight log to see what the vibration plots look like. But before you go up, the obvious things, right? Check all your motor screws to make sure that they're tight. Use Loctite in there to make sure that they don't back out. Make sure that your booms are stiff. And yeah, this is a wooden drone, but I'll show you the interior in a second, and you'll see this is a very stiff frame. We're going to take a look also at this flight controller. You're going to say, oh, it's not dampened. Yes, the flight controller and the board that it's plugged into are directly screwed into the frame of the quadcopter. And this frame is made of these square dowels, and they're sandwiched between two flat pieces. So that makes this whole structure very stiff. We don't have any twisting that goes on, and the booms do not, the vibration that you're getting is solely coming from the motor and such like, and things like that. So you're not having additional vibrations being generated by the motors vibrating at a frequency and the booms being loose enough to have sympathetic vibrations and things like that. So all of that has been taken care of. This particular flight controller, not all flight controllers, in its firmware, we have filters set up to take out or just mitigate the vibrations that it acts on. So the sensors are picking up the vibrations, but it's okay because the flight controller knows that it's picking up those vibrations, if that makes any sense. Other flight controllers, I'll show you this one. This one does not have that working or running. So you can see right here. Oh, there's a pencil. I didn't know they made those still. But so you can see here, these standoffs or spacers are actually a rubberized material. You can have neoprene, you can have different materials for different damping, different damping characteristics. But as you can see there, I can wiggle this pretty good. So that takes out the vibrations, or decouples the vibrations from the frame, motors, and everything else. Motors, payload, everything else is those vibrations are dampened before they get to our flight controller here. Now, depending on who you got your flight controller from, you may also, well, not also, but instead of those dampers, you may have gotten some double stick foam. And this foam, if your flight controller has a case around it, a plastic case around it, or aluminum case around it, your flight controller may have been supplied with some of these. Don't toss this foam, use it. So your manufacturer has already tested your flight controller, and if you have this type of damper or this type of damper, by all means use that. And then sometimes there have been occasions where fixing these mechanical issues has actually fixed the problem before you even get to tuning. So meaning, you've already taken off and you have oscillations. Your drone is doing this number, or it was doing that so bad that you were not able to take off. So check all of that first, and now we'll get to the tuning part. So let's button her up. All right, before we completely lose the sun, we're gonna take it up first. Then we're gonna record a flight log so we can see the vibration plots. And we're gonna bring it down, and then I'm gonna go through where in QGroundControl the tuning settings are, and what it looks like when it's tuned okay, and what it looks like if the tuning is off a bit. So here we go. I'm gonna try to keep it in the shot. All right, we're not gonna go over the calibration, the compass calibration or anything like that, because we've already done that in another video. See the link up there. So we're just gonna go ahead and take off and record this.
Armed.
That's pretty responsive there. We'll let it fly for a minute, and after a minute we'll get the yeah, it's pretty snappy and responsive. That's the way I usually tune them up, with a high P rate. Okay. All right, let's bring that down, and we'll disarm.
Disarmed.
Okay. Never do any tuning when you're in the air unless you're doing the auto tune. But here, let's go to vehicle setup, and you're gonna see here pit tuning. It's automatically gonna be in auto tune. Auto tune
what you have to do is you have to take it up and you have to make some really hard stick movements left and right, and it'll do the tuning for you. So here, we're gonna pause for a second.
All right, guys. After that first initial flight, after we check all the hardware, make sure everything's solid, we're gonna go to we're gonna take the flight logs from the drone. So this will be on your SD card on the drone under logs, and you're gonna go to I'll put this in the description for you guys. It's the PX4 flight review. So you're going to go ahead and take that, and you're going to drop your flight log in there. I'm just copying this from, or pulling it from Name It. Right, so you want to name it so you remember what you did. I usually put a data in there. Additional feedback is optional. It's basically your description of what you were doing. Email. They will send you a link. They will send you a link back to your. Oh, sorry, I can't talk and think at the same time. So they'll send you a link to the analysis or all the data plots to the email you provide here. And I always do this unless it's a drone that's under an NDA or something, or I'm designing it for somebody else. My drones, I always put the allow for statistical analysis so they can make this better. And then click upload. And there it is. Look at that. So you can zoom in. You can only zoom in so far because privacy, right? So what you're going to see here is if you were looking at the drone from the sky. This is you're going to have estimated set point, where it thinks it's going to go, where it should be going, and the projected GPS positions. And on this, you can zoom in on this because it has no data. But okay, we're here for. Oh yeah, these look all of that looks good. So we're particularly here for the vibration plots. Okay, here we go. And that doesn't look too bad for being a wooden frame. So what you don't want to see is a solid line going across one frequency. And let me show you what they have. I'll put the link to this one as well so you guys can check that out. So examples of good vibration. So see, it's low here. Good vibration. And so these are examples of better explanation they'll give you here. But if you see something like this, where you have vibrations spread across these frequencies, that is a bad sign. And different parts of the drone will give you different frequencies. We're not going to get into that now because that's a long that's a video unto itself. But if you start seeing things like this, um, or something like do not fly with this. Um, but anyway, that's what we're looking for, anomalous stuff like this, which would indicate that we have a bad vibration somewhere. And before we start tuning, we're gonna fix these. So again, not too bad for a wooden frame. So yeah, we'll go ahead and do some PID tuning on that. And again, I'll put all these in the all these links in the description so you guys can come back to this.
Armed.
All right.
Approaching on Geofence. Hold flight mode.
Okay, we're in hold flight mode because of the geofence. So we're going to try to do a return. Alright, we're going to try to do a return through the program here. We'll do a land. Immediate. Land on the spot.
Land flight mode.
Alright, so that's how to recover from that.
Disarmed.
I have the geofences. Yeah, I guess we're close enough to the geofence to trigger that. But anyway, that's how you start the auto tune. I'm going to move over a little bit, or I'll move the geofence here. Hold on. Move the geofence a little farther out, which it will still be within what we can use. Alright, so let's go to the fence to edit and move this puppy out this way so we don't run into that again. But anyway, you saw that what it did was it took the inputs and tuned that in for us. Okay, so we've got a new geofence uploaded. We're going to go back to our, we've got bugs out here trying to eat me. So I'm going to go to vehicle setup again, do PID tuning. Now we're going to cut off the auto tune for this one. So now if you get more advanced, well, in order to do the auto tune, you should, as you can see, have a very large space to do it in. So you can see here that roll, pitch, and yaw all have different, they're different parameters that you can set for. So K is basically your PID or your P, which is how hard, when you move the sticks, how hard it's going to go for that set point. The D is how hard it compensates. And so the thing that happens sometimes, if you have a high D rate, you'll start to have some oscillations. So what we're going to do is we're going to move this up a bit. And also, before you do that, before you move anything, save to clipboard where you're at. So roll and pitch, we're at 0.003. So I'm going to save this to clipboard. In case something goes horribly wrong, you can restore from the clipboard and get it back to close to where you were. So we're going to raise our roll rate here, and always do this on the ground. Okay, once that is set, it's already gone to the drone, and we're going to try to take off here. Oh, it's asking for manual mode, so we're going to go manual mode.
Manual flight mode. Armed.
All right, we're on. That's definitely harder to.
Position flight mode.
Okay.
Disarmed. Armed.
All right. I'm gonna try that again. And you can see that. You can already see that we've got a little bit of oscillation there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put
disarmed.
We're gonna put the D back, and we're gonna raise our K, and we're gonna try that again.
Armed.
And I'm staying low to the ground because I have a fence. If it goes wrong, we'll hit the fence. So you can already see there's a little bit of oscillation building up. And that was a hard landing. So you can see it starts affecting it pretty.
Disarmed.
Quickly. We're going to go up to 3 here. All right.
Armed.
So I don't know if you can hear this, but the motors, so we got a little oscillation building up, and the motors are starting to twitch, which is you can hear the motors kind of pitching up and down real quick.
Disarmed.
That means that it's trying to make adjustments, and it's overshooting. So we're going to go back down to 1 here. I'm trying to do this in a way that is not going to crash me because I don't want to crash this drone. And these bugs are eating me to the point where I can't even really concentrate. So we're going to go to 0.01. And this will be the last one that we run on here.
Armed.
Left to right. So you can see it's having more issues on the overshoot right now. And another rough landing. So
Disarmed.
So basically what I would recommend is start with low rates, and go with the suggestions that are right under the sliders in this area here, and that'll guide you. But if you're having really bad oscillation, start bringing down the D and then slowly bring it back up. to where you see where it's not overshooting. Just to show you the eye, what the eye does. The eye is where it remembers where this position it was. So that one, last one was going to be the last one.
Armed.
This will be the last one. Okay, if you watch the landing gear, now you can see it has a little wobble to it. The landing's not too bad. I kind of brought it down real good.
Disarmed.
About to lose the sun, so this is really the last one. So we've got the eye all the way up.
Armed.
Hopefully this will help you see what each one of these terms does. And that one just makes it kind of a little bit sluggish, more sluggish than it needs to be.
Disarmed.
All right, we're going to restore from clipboard. And this gives us our original settings, as you can see. And then I'm going to bring the eye all the way down here. And we'll go one last time.
Armed.
All right. So
Disarmed.
see, yeah, just start from the lowest ones and move your way up. So if you're having issues getting it to respond to inputs, you're going to use the K. If you are having starting to have oscillations, mess around with the I in increments. And then the D is really going to reduce the oscillations after you've made a move. So you move, and then it's trying to find the position, and that will dampen those oscillations. So if you're taking off, you make a move, and then you find that it oscillates until it crashes, or it oscillates quite a bit. Lower your D and slowly raise it up, and you might have that go away. Anyway, there it is. Okay, thanks for joining me on this one. I hope that answered a few questions. Again, I'm not Australian. I'm not Joshua Bardwell. I'm absolutely not an expert on any of these things. I'm just here to introduce you to stuff and hopefully make you feel more comfortable in trying these things out and doing more research on your own. So a few things to remember. Make sure the frame is tight. Make sure your flight controller, if it needs damping, it has proper dampers. If you have a GPS, make sure it's solidly mounted. If you have any vibrations coming into the GPS, sometimes you have secondary accelerometers that are on your GPS unit. If you get vibrations there, you could have a flyaway. Don't ask me how I know.
So you could have a flyaway condition. So solidly mount the GPS, mount the flight controller according to the manufacturer's suggestions. Also, calibrate your GPS when you're at a new location. If you're doing the auto tune, be aware of your surroundings. Make sure you have enough space. Obviously, we didn't have enough space in the backyard, so I did not attempt a full auto tune with swinging the drone back and forth and side to side. So that's that with the auto tune, and always make all these changes while the drone is on the ground and unarmed or disarmed. Sorry. Land the drone, disarm, make the changes, and then slowly and cautiously take off. And that's it. Hope you guys found something you could use in this one. And like, subscribe, and share. That'll help immensely in us keeping these videos going. And yeah, we'll see you in the next video.